All right, so welcome to the Northwest Gateway Sustainable Community Meeting. My name is Ngone Diop. I am the Community Planning Division Chief, but I'm also covering as the planner for District 4. So today we have several guests from the county and also from the state to talk to us about the streetscape improvements on Liberty Road. So as you know, we have $250,000 to spend on Liberty Road on streetscape projects. And I want to spend the first part of this meeting to talk about the process, talk about the role and the responsibilities of the agencies as well as the state. And then on the second part of the meeting, I would like the group to discuss the locations and also the types of improvements they would like to pursue on Liberty Road. So I'm hoping that by the end of this week, I mean, not this week, but by the end of this meeting, that there will be some type of decisions made on the locations and also the types of improvement, or at least we will be very close to that decision. So since the last meeting, we have had one new member. I'm not sure if this new member is in the attendees today, but I would like to go ahead and introduce the team again. So if you are in attendees and you hear your name, please unmute and introduce yourself. Shirley Stupik, Devon Park.
Here.
Hi. India Addis.
Here.
Albert Bonds. Okay, so Albert Bonds is our new member. Gloria Cooper Blue, I think I have a notification that she wasn't going to be able to make it. Sheila Lewis. All right, I don't see Sheila. Michelle McCallum.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Michelle. Stephanie Hopman. Okay. Carla Chambers.
Hello.
Hi. All right, let's move on to this. Bernadette Jones. Helen Thomas. Grace Snowden. Marilyn Evans. Jamelia Blount. Danielle Smith.
Present. Good evening,
Hi.
everyone. Hello.
Linda Dorsey Walker. And Sharon Hendricks.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening. Okay, and now I would like to introduce our guests. As I say your agency's name, please unmute and introduce yourself. Baltimore County Department of Public Works and Transportation.
I'm Anthony Russell. I'm the Deputy Director.
Hi,
Good
Anthony.
evening. Oh, sorry. Good evening. My name is Angelica Daniel. I'm the Chief of Transportation.
Welcome, Danielle. Angelica. Anybody else from Baltimore County Department of Public Works and Transportation? Okay. Next is Baltimore County Property Management.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Nicole Finneyfrock. I'm the Assistant County Property Manager. Thanks for having me tonight.
Thank you for being here, Nicole. Baltimore County Solid Waste Management.
Hi, my name is Scott Krill. I'm the Superintendent for Solid Waste Management.
Thank you, Scott. And then we have the M.SHA.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, this is Kim Livesey, Chief of Engineering Systems Design Team for State Highway MDOT.
And this is Shatapa Samantha. I'm the acting Deputy District Engineer. from District 4.
Hi, this is Vanessa Brady with the District 4 Traffic Office.
Thank you all. And then we have MTA representative.
Hi, Albert Guiney Engel in the MTA Office of Planning Project Development Division.
Thank you, Albert. So as I said, we do have $250,000 for Liberty Road. It's not a lot of money, but it's a start. And the money needs to be spent on streetscape improvements. So I just wanted to give you some type of examples that you can pursue as streetscape improvement. But it's always good with this type of money to maybe do smaller projects that will have a big impact on the communities. But some types of examples include sidewalks, pedestrian ramps or bike lanes. You can also do some traffic calming devices such as speed bumps, rumble strips, or do some bus stops or bus shelters replacement or installation. Have benches replaced, trash cans replaced, or ornamental lighting added, or you can do some trees and landscaping. So because I see that Mr. Albert Barnes has joined us and he is the new member, I would like to give him an opportunity to introduce himself. Hi, Albert. You are muted.
Hello, I'm
Hi,
Al
we can hear
Barnes,
you.
and I'm a member of the Kings Park Community Association, as well as I've been asked by NAACP to attend these meetings, as well as the host, Baltimore County, and I'm happy to participate. And haven't been available to attend all the meetings, but I've reviewed the information, much of the information that was posted. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert. It's a pleasure to have you, and you haven't missed anything yet because this is just the second meeting.
Okay.
Okay. So about, I want to say 2 years ago, DPWT had some money to spend on Liberty Road. And at this time, I would like to turn it to Angelica Daniels to inform or update the group about project that has been completed and also the ones that are still pending. Angelica, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Again, my name is Angelica Daniel, and I'm with Baltimore County Public Works and Transportation, Chief of Transportation. So we had a grant that we were given by the state, and we've done a number of improvements along Liberty Road. This slide shows one of our pending projects that we hope to get started soon this spring. We are planning on putting 5 new bus shelters along Liberty Road, and the slide shows the locations of the bus shelters that we plan to install.
Should I go next?
Yeah. Okay. Also, this slide shows our completed projects. Some of you probably have noticed we've installed pedestrian lighting along Liberty Road from Northern Parkway all the way up to Owings Mills Boulevard. We've placed almost 400 lights along the segment. And we've also put in thermoplastic crosswalks at 5 signalized cross sections that are listed on the slide. You can go next. And we've also done a number of intersection improvements along with some sidewalk improvements. The sidewalk improvements aren't along Liberty Road. They're on the side roads that intersect with Liberty Road, for instance, Marriottsville, Live Oak, and Flannery Lane. And we're also doing some ADA upgrades on the intersecting streets, for instance, upgrading the pedestrian ramps and some small segments of sidewalk that need to be upgraded. So those are the improvements that we've done thus far.
Thank you, Angelica. Anybody have any questions for Angelica? Okay, please, Carla.
Good evening. Can you tell me what side of Marysville Road the sidewalk improvements are on near Liberty?
Yeah, so you know where the 7-Eleven is on the corner
Yes.
of Marriottsville? So there was some missing sidewalk there from 7-Eleven going towards Winans.
Yes.
So we put the sidewalk there, and also on the other side is Live Oak, and there was a mission of a portion of sidewalk missing there as well. So we just connected the sidewalk from Liberty Road to the portion on Live Oak that was missing.
My understanding is the sidewalks that are going in now on Liberty from Deer Park all the way up, that's the state.
Yeah, the sidewalk that's actually on Liberty Road, that's being conducted by the state. Yeah,
But
that's
it's a nice improvement. They're not wasting any time with that at all.
Yeah.
And with that, and I kind of know the answer, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Will there be any sidewalks on Marriottsville going up towards Kings Park and Sheridan? And that might be tight because you have residents right there, but is there any plans to do sidewalks on that part of Marriottsville Road?
No, not at this time. The reason why you saw the sidewalk on the other side of Marysville, because there is existing curb and gutter. So yeah, so there's a couple requirements in order to put the sidewalk there. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
One other question.
Yes, ma'am.
The bus shelters, I didn't see one. Is there going to be one at Marriottsville and Liberty right there in front where Dunkin' Donut is?
Not at this time, no. Just those 5 that you see on the slide.
Okay. Is that because it's a state road or no?
Those are the locations that were chosen. The one at Marriottsville wasn't on the list. Yeah.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. I want to piggyback off of that. Is 21133 included in any of these proposals?
And what street intersection is that?
Marysville and Liberty Road.
So these are actually, Angelica can speak more in this, but this was a grant that they had 2 years ago, and the money needs to be spent by 2023.
Right. Yeah, we actually got it back. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what projects are you talking about in the bus shelters or the remaining, like pedestrian, lighting, crosswalks, or what was your question?
Bus shelter, as well as what was the other thing? The bus shelter, and I think it was the street sidewalks.
So there's one right here, Marriottsville near Liberty Road. So they do have one.
But you will not cross Liberty Road, or yes? I mean, excuse me, Marriottsville.
So in order to put sidewalk on the other portion of Marriottsville Road, it gets a little bit more complicated. As I said before, there's some requirements that you need in order to put sidewalks. So you need existing curb and gutter, you need a storm drain system. So on that portion of Marriottsville Road, there's no existing curb and gutter, therefore there's no storm drain system. And there's a lot of grading. You can see that, the property on the side of the road is higher than the road. So there's grading issues. A lot of the houses are closer to the road. So there's some right-of-way issues there as well. So something like that will qualify more as a capital improvement project rather than just a sidewalk installation project.
Okay, thank you.
And I think, Michelle, I see your hands raised. Do you have a question?
I do. So if we go back to the bus shelters, so I guess Lidl's supposed to be going where Shoppers was. Is that correct? Liberty and Rolling near the proposed Lidl, is that?
That isn't finalized yet. I'm not too sure about that.
Okay, but the bus stop's going on
the bus stop will definitely be there, but I'm not sure if Lidl will be in that location.
Okay.
So far, no, we don't know that Lidl will be coming.
Yeah.
But the bus stop will be there.
Bus stop will be there. It'll be on the side where, on the library side.
I thought it was, oh yeah, eastbound.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
So hi. So a quick question to Chair and Hendricks. So the one at Liberty Road and Old Court, so that's actually going to be, it looks like it's actually on Liberty Road. Are there any plans to put one at the bus stop? It's closer to the hospital on actually Old Court Road. It's going, I don't know which direction, but down the hill after you pass Northwest and Old Court, there's a new bus stop there.
No,
Or is that not in this project scope?
No, all these locations are for Liberty Road.
Or
Nothing
actually on
outside
Liberty
of
Road? Okay.
at this time. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Angelica? Okay. So let me go next. Angelica, thank you so much.
Sure, no problem.
So now I would like to turn it to the county agencies to tell us about their role and responsibilities in streetscape improvements on Liberty Road. So I have here some topics, but feel free to add to it. For example, what is the process time? What are the requirements? Is there a bid that will be required? What about installation? Who does it fall under? So this is just to, kickstart the conversation. Anybody, DPWT, property management, solid waste management, anybody wants to start?
It depends on what it is, as far as it being, a bus pad, a bench, DPWT would take it. We would see if we do have an on-call contractor available that could do the work, so it wouldn't be going through a bid process. Because generally a bid process, you could probably take up to 6 months before we could put the scope together and actually send it out. So depending on what the project is, determines the timeline.
So I know some project that I've seen in other communities, again, small but makes a big impact, include, for example, just replacing trash can. I know Liberty Road has had issue with trash for a long time because they don't have adequate trash receptacles. And for example, if they wanted to replace those trash cans or add trash cans to locations that are missing right now, or like change the benches or add benches, what would that process be?
But that wouldn't be a hard ask. The first thing we need to do is get with our partners at the state to find out exactly who's responsible for it. And if it's a can we might maintain or a can we're going to maintain. So, if we had specific locations, we could definitely get you, a better timeline. But something generally just replacing a can, replacing a bench is an easy grab. It's nothing that would have to go through a bid process.
Okay. And would you say that the time frame could be what? 6 months, more than 6 months from, start of the process to installation?
Replacing a trash can or replacing a bench, you're probably talking maybe 3 months.
Okay.
We're not talking about a great deal of time. That kind of stuff, as long as it's on contract, it depends on Mother Nature.
Right.
And that, that if it is the county's responsibility or Liberty Road being SHA, if it's their responsibility.
Okay.
Russell, this is Carla. For Liberty Road, SHA meaning the state, are they also responsible for emptying the trash cans or just the installation?
There's some, I believe we're responsible to empty them. Scott Carell is on here. He's our supervises all our collections within Baltimore County. He could better answer that.
So at the shelters, it's actually the Maryland Transportation Authority that takes care of those cans, and the streetscape cans that set off by their side, like, they're maintained by us, the county. So
if there's an issue, and I'm asking this because I'm a part of another combined community homeowners association along with my own. So when there's the trash is always a big issue. So who's the first point of contact if one of the person who's in charge of our trash, who do they call? Do they call the county? And the county determines if that's a state issue or a county issue, or do we need one number for the county and one number for MDTA?
Yes, if it's other than the shelter, if it's a shelter, if it's a can right next to the shelter, then that's MTA. But if it's a can that's setting by itself, you could call 887-2000 and we'll send somebody out to take a look at it. But those cans are actually dumped like twice a week on Liberty Road, and I know since I've been in charge, we've kind of really made a significant improvement with the cans, and so I always send a supervisor out to check the cans and make sure they're being dumped properly. So
Okay, thanks.
Now,
the gentleman, Anthony Russell, in reference when the question was asked about the process and bid time, the monies that we're working with, and I guess that's for anybody at the county, is this money federal dollars or is this state dollars? Because that's going to determine which type of contractor can go after it, or is this, if it's a quick call, do they have to be is this registered vendor? Is this going to be minority contractors? Are there goals on these things, or is it just we've got somebody as a vendor on and we're going to do a quick like a 3 quote? If they're below a certain dollar amount, how's that working?
Well,
So
hopefully
Carla, I
sorry.
can answer the money. The money is county. It's coming from
Okay.
the countywide improvement account. I can answer that.
Thank you.
Sure.
So then with that, Anthony, are we going on vendors that on an approved list for the quick ones to keep from going out on a formal bid?
Yeah, the quick things we could do, we have a lot of on-call contracts. So we would go right to them, and they've been through the pre-approved process, and they got their goals that they're supposed to meet.
Got
So
it.
that would make it a lot easier.
Okay, thank
It
you.
is a lot easier than using federal money.
Yeah, it is.
But that will require for this group to choose the style of the trash can first, or are there like specific styles that we have to stick on?
so
Style and
I
size.
sent you an email and it said the streetscape cans that we use. That's the one that the haulers are I've already picked up. And we try not to go away from those style cans because they do hold up very well. And it's actually a 30-gallon liner that goes inside of those cans. And that's what everybody uses throughout the whole county.
Okay, so that's good to know. And how is that compared to what is existing on Liberty Road?
Right now they have almost the same style, but they have a door that opens from the bottom, which causes a little bit of a problem sometimes because the door will swing open and a little bit of trash will come out. The cages around the cans that we're going after now, it's a enclosure that doesn't open up from the bottom. You pull the can out from the top. So yeah, and it's $1,000 approximately per can and cage.
Okay, thank you for the info.
Not installed.
Not installed. And then the installation, we have to go also with the vending, the on-call vendors, or I mean, how does that work?
It depends on how many cans we actually get. We replace like 1 or 2 at a time, but I mean, we're so busy with all kinds of projects right now. I mean, if they're going to get 50 of them, it would have to go through a contractor to install them.
But if it was only 1 or 2, the county could do that for free.
Yeah, we could do that. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so more than 2, we have to contact a contractor.
Yeah, it would be best. Like if you're getting up close to at least past 10, I would say.
More than 10, contact a
Yeah,
contractor.
yeah.
less
Yeah.
than 10, the county can handle it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But keep in mind the shelters, I mean, that would be through the state, you know, so if there's a shelter, a bus shelter, and a can has to go there, that would go through the state, so.
Got it. Got it. Any other questions?
Yes, hi, it's Sharon Hendricks. So 2 questions. I know you mentioned that the pickup is twice a week on Liberty Road. Are there particular days? And the rationale is, so I drive up Liberty Road at least 5 days a week between 6:30 and 7, and there are specific trash cans that are always overflowing. So I don't know if I should call this number now when I see them. They are not at the shelters. Or if it's a Wednesday, if it's going to be picked up on Wednesday, then I don't need to necessarily call. But I think it may be because the location of them are very much near businesses. So they are always full versus other ones on the road. So how would you recommend handling that?
You could always give us a call. They're usually collected Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
So I know we always have a problem at that liquor store. People come out and they put like cases of stuff right on top of the can, and we could go make that collection, and within an hour it's like filled up already. It looks like it's filled up because they put like a case on the top and it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom of the can. So but I mean, we have a supervisor that tries to get out there every time after the collection, so it's
Okay.
we really try to monitor it if we can.
It may be the location, or maybe we need additional cans. So where the barbecue place is as well, where the old Shoppers was, those are always full as well.
Yeah.
And then my second question is, and maybe this isn't for this group. So we have a bus stop now on Old Court Road, and a trash can is needed there. We did place one out there, but it wasn't very sturdy. And there's always trash around that bus stop. So is there a specific number I should call to request it? Or how do you recommend we handle that?
So what is the location? Old Port and what now?
It's Old Court. It's right across from, it's down a bit from Northwest Hospital, and it's across diagonal from Future Care Old Court. The bus stop at the bottom of the hill there.
Okay.
It just, I think, would really help tidy up the bus stop.
Is it a sheltered bus stop or no?
No, it's not.
Okay. I could take a look at it and see if we could put something out there for you.
That would be great. Like I said, we did opt to purchase one and put one there, but it really didn't hold up very well. And now there's just trash all the time around that area. Thank you very much.
Hi, hello, this is Danielle. So most of my questions have already been answered, but when you did mention something about the trash cans being $1,000, is that the normal price? Did they get bids? Because a 30-gallon trash can, you think of the trash cans that you have at your own home that are about 30, 40 gallons, and we may have paid maybe 200 for them. And so, but I know these are different because they're more like the industrial and outside. Then you said you have the cage. I was wondering if that was, a normal price, or because of everything else going up, it went up. And then also too, you mentioned it takes roughly probably, I guesstimate about 3 months. And so I'm looking at the time now, we're in February, so that should get us to around time for, when the summer, when the weather gets warm, because, we've all been in the house, because of COVID, and everyone's going to be out this go around outside. So we're definitely going to get more trash. And then when people, and are they going to be strategically located in areas where people are going to have events or festivals or things of that nature, so that when people do have something, they have a place, close by to deposit their trash. Thank you.
So Danielle, I can tell you about the location. This group will be voting on the locations. So that's what we're gonna be doing for the second part of this meeting. For your first questions, I'm not sure if Scott can answer you about the price.
Oh, the price, yeah. So the cans they have a steel cage around the galvanized liner. So that steel cage is what is so expensive. And they have almost, I would say they've almost doubled in price recently. They used to be about $550 and they've gone to $975, I think they are now. So, and that varies. Sometimes we have problems getting the liners for inside those cans, and so it all depends on the market.
I have a question.
Sure.
I have
Yeah.
a question. This is regarding a role responsibility that has to be worked in with some of the other things going on around elections. In the last election cycle, there was a responsibility that was given to some of the property management crew to go around to the various drop boxes and assist the Board of Election staff in picking up the ballots. That was supposed to have been one of the assigned roles for that particular election. Preparations are underway now for the upcoming primary. Has that responsibility been given to property management staff this time as well?
We have someone from property management. I'm not sure if they are able to answer that question. Nicole?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Are you able, do you know if Miss Linda's question, are you able to answer her?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Okay, this is one of the additional sort of add-on tasks that were given to property management staff, particularly those that are bonded property management staff at the time of the last election. They were given the task of assisting the Board of Election staff in going around twice a day to pull the ballots from the various ballot drop-off boxes because they don't have sufficient staff to do that. So that was an additional staff that was given to the bonded property management staff. Will that be taking place again this primary election and general election of 2022?
Okay, thank you. Sorry, but thank you for repeating that. So that is an administrative decision. Yes, we did do that last year, and I'm sure we'd be willing to, but that is an administrative decision.
Okay. I'm asking that question because I have a meeting coming up soon and that's going to be addressed. And I just wanted to make sure. You said that you do have staff that are available to do that if called upon. Is that correct?
Yes. As you spoke, the bonded staff, it would probably most likely be the same staff. But again, it would our bosses, the administration needs to make that determination and let us know.
How many staff were assigned to that task the last time? Do you know?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure Nicole can put her contact information in the chat room. Chat box.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I
And
can.
then I see several hands raised. We'll go to Michelle first, then Albert, then Danielle. Michelle, please.
Thank you. I understand that the state manages the bus stops, but I was thinking about Brook Road near the bus stop in front of the Home Depot where there's always overflowing trash. Is there some additional support that we could provide there? Because it's usually overflowing.
Yes, I know exactly where you're talking about. I do have a supervisor check that can. We did have a little bit of a problem because the company that makes the collection, they switched drivers and the driver forgot about that stop. So there was like a week where it was kind of overflowing. So, but I do have a supervisor that rides that area pretty much weekly now. And Brook is on her list because there's 2 cans right at the Home Depot, and we always have a problem with it. People get off the bus, and all the trash that's on the bus goes into those cans. I mean, it would be great to have some kind of help with state highway. I mean, MTA or something like that with that, because it is all trash from the bus, to be honest with you. I mean, that's where it comes from. But we try to keep an eye on it the best we can.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. On behalf of MTA. I mean, as you said, we don't pick up trash from the private receptacles, but I did look at the shelter score for all of the stops in this corridor, and of all the ones that are sort of eligible on scoring but don't have one, that stop is the highest, rates the highest, and there is, the notes that are in our file say basically it's not feasible because of limited right of way. But if that's a location that the group, feels is important to pursue, we could take another look at it and see whether it would, be possible to move that one forward as a shelter. Take a second look at the right of way situation there.
Yeah, that would be great, because it is really hard for us to keep up with those cans. I mean, it's the bus stops there, and within sometimes a day and a half, both cans are completely full. So it's a little bit of a problem, I would say that.
Thank you. And it certainly is with the garbage receptacles for the apartment complex right across the street. It's really to be overwhelmed.
Michelle, any other questions before we move to Albert?
No, just that was one area I was glad to hear that you're looking at. That whole east and westbound between Milford and Rolling Road is because, again, I realize it's people getting off the bus for the most part, but those cans like in front of what used to be the BP, I can't remember what they are now, but those cans are always overflowing. The Dunkin', those cans near those locations are usually full.
Okay. All right, thank you, Albert.
Yes. Has it been determined yet what type of projects beyond trash cans could be proposed for the $250,000 funds available?
No, we haven't decided on the projects yet. I just wanted for the group to have all the information needed in order to have a better decision. So that once we have that information, we can go ahead and decide what types of projects you want to pursue, whether it's trash cans or benches or lighting or whatever you guys want with that money.
Thank you.
Sure. And then Danielle? I thought Danielle had her.
I'm sorry, it was up from the last question I had. Sorry.
Okay, all right. And then Devon, maybe?
Yes. Hi, I'm Devon Parks, president of the Stony Brook Community Association, and are the funds just solely for Liberty Road and not, any of the side streets?
It is primarily for Liberty Road, but again, this is a start. You are in a sustainable community, and the reason why we convene this meeting or this committee is for you to help us implement some of those projects that are in the sustainable community plan. So we do have some projects that is in the entire community boundary, and we're gonna have to need some funding in order to implement those projects. But since we had this money, I wanted to tackle this first, let it go through the process, and then we'll come back and see what other project we can do, not on Liberty Road, but in the entire sustainable community boundary.
Okay, well, if we have anything left over, the part, I remember a couple of years ago, well, I would say about 4 years ago, I inquired about getting an additional trash can for between Allenswood and Meadow Heights. There's a bridge, and kids walk through there all the time. And we, as Stony Brook community, had a cleanup crew because that land over there, it's like, I don't know, it's like a little park area and then, you know, some bushes area, and it was like filled of debris of, I guess, the kids or whoever, when they walked across the bridge, they just threw their trash. And so I inquired about getting a trash can there, and I can't remember who I spoke to, but they told me they couldn't get a trash can there because they had no one to pick it up, pick up the trash or put it in that rotating cycle that they had. So I was just inquiring about that because it's a serious issue for there because it is a lot of trash. I don't know why, but we do. And then in addition to the trash can, I wanted to inquire about lighting, to have a brighter light there, because a lot of people hang out in the summertime underneath the bridge, which has a stream of water, and they sit there and with beer and leave it all there, whatever they ate from Popeyes or whatever, it's all just there. So I figured if it was a brighter light there, that it would deter people. Now there is a trash can, I can't remember the name, but it's on Allenswood where the school is. It's at the corner before you cross the street to go across the bridge on Allenswood to Meadow Heights. I think that's the school trash can. So I don't know who handles that, if it's a school or whatever, but I know people started dumping a lot of things in there that can't fit, but it's there. So I don't know what the answer is, but I was hoping for an additional trash can at least, and as well as the additional lighting.
Okay. Scott, can you answer? Do you know who will that be the school?
So I can take a look at the Allenswood and Meadow Heights area. We do have to pay it's a budgeted item, like, you know, so we have to pay the collector to make that collection, and so many people request these cans. I mean, it is unbelievable. So we cannot fulfill everybody's pitch in can idea, you know, but I'll take a look at it and we'll see exactly what's going on. But it is a budgeted item. Yeah, so
I understand. Thank
yeah.
you very much for looking into it.
Allenswood and Meadow Heights is the biggest problem that you said, though, right?
Yes, it's very, literally, we cleaned it up as a community. One Saturday, people came out, and I think the minute we cleaned it up that Saturday, I think by the following week, it was like we never touched it.
Can we put that on the list as a possible for some of this money if it's going to be a budgeted item, because that is a very busy intersection? I'm just asking it. Can we just put that on the list?
Sure.
As a, if nothing else, as a parking lot issue / possibility.
Yeah, sure.
And just, if it can't be in the county budget, maybe it can be a part of this as a one-off, depending on where we are. That's
exactly.
Yeah. Can I speak?
Yeah.
Okay. I agree. That is a challenging area. It creates a stormwater management challenge because people do dump their trash there and then accumulates and it runs off into other people's stormwater management systems. The reason that I was specifically asking the property management question, and it will also lead to a question about lighting and outdoor camera security, is because right off of Liberty and Rolling Road, where Scotts Branch Elementary School is located, I've been trying for some time to get a drop-off box, a valid drop-off box. And the argument has been, well, you know, what about lighting there? What about security cameras? Maybe it's too unaffordable. The people who live in those apartment complexes have come up to me and said, look, we really need to have one right at this school. And now, as we're approaching trying to, resolve some of these things leading up to the primary election, I want to make sure that they have a safe and secure place to drop off their ballots, since so many of them can't make it to Martins West and some of these other early voting sites. So I would appreciate it if we're looking at places that can be resolved. There needs to be more lighting around Scotts Branch Elementary School. There needs to be more cameras for security purposes. And I'm going to ask one other question about those trash cans. I have seen, when I travel to another state, the receptacles that have a hood at the top with a camera, a security camera. It was outside of a CVS, and I think I saw one at a Walgreens one time. Are you familiar with that kind of security trash receptacle where it's actually filming outside certain locations?
I am not familiar with that, but it would be a great idea because so many people misuse those cans that it is a huge problem within all of Baltimore County, to be honest with you. I mean, we have several locations that we have terrible problems with people throwing entire kitchen bags in the can, and then it's completely full, and then it starts overflowing, and it's
right.
We have a spot in Reisterstown Road. I mean, it's the commercial district. They use the cans as trash for their businesses sometimes, and it's just hard to keep up with all the cans and monitor all the cans, to be
Right. Well, the security cameras I'm talking about have almost like a WebEx expand. So they are filming at all times, not just people dropping stuff off in front of standing immediately in front of the cam. They're used for law enforcement purposes.
Yeah, that would be
They
great.
can capture an entire intersection if you position them in the right place. And if you're spending $1,000 a can you look into getting the hooded ones with the built-in cameras?
Well, that's going to be more than $1,000, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is.
And then we have to pay to monitor it. So
yes, sir.
All right, so for time management, because there's so much that I want to get into before we end this meeting. For time management, can we talk a little bit about benches, since we have DPWT and property management? So looks like trash can is going to be needed on Liberty Road. So that's one project that I see that will need to be pursued. But I also want to talk a little bit about benches and then also about lighting, because it seems like those three topics might be good candidates for Liberty Road. So benches, what would be the process time, bid, installation criteria? Can anybody talk on that subject, please? I'm not sure if DPWT wants to take the lead on this one.
Yeah, we would have to know where the benches are going. You know, what's already existing as far as concrete wise, where we're going to put the benches at. We could do these also with the on-call contract. And there again, it would depend on how many you put in. And I think the standard bench, don't quote me on it, but I think there's a 6-foot bench and there's like an 8 or 9 foot bench with the divider in the middle.
And do you have approximately a price for either one?
It goes back to the trash cans. Unfortunately, anytime, it's not the price is going up now, but street furniture is just very expensive. I think the benches are, well over $2,000 each.
Okay.
And that's just the nature of the beast. As far as, when it comes to street furniture, for some reason, it's just a great expense. Like Scott said, $1,000 for a trash can. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
And the benches are just as expensive.
Yeah, just for the group to have an idea, and when they decide to know how many to choose and what location. So this doesn't also include the installation. And installation, is the installation on the county, or this also has to be contracted out?
It would be contracted out through hopefully one of our existing on-call contracts. If you give us the locations and how many, I could pin a price down give you a rough estimate.
Okay.
I have a quick question. So because of what's going on now, nationally with the trucks and holding up a lot of the things that we need, I just feel like there's a lot of price gouging. Do you think it may be a good idea for us to wait in a couple of months to see what happens? Because these prices have doubled. And to be honest with you, there's really no reason for them to double like they are doubling. And so maybe if we wait until the climate cools down a little bit, do you think they'll go back to the same? Well, I know you wouldn't know that if they would go back down to the same price, but I just think for everything to be double, and we need so much done in our counties, and like one of the other young ladies said earlier, if there's enough money, can we go into some of the side streets to get some of this as far as the benches and things done? Is that something that we may be able to do, or do we have a deadline?
We do not have a deadline. I'm not sure if Scott can speak on the price, but I just feel like
it's just like Tony was saying. We've experienced an almost 50% increase over the past, I would say, year. So, and you don't know if the prices are going to come down or keep going up. It's a hard market to try and try and control.
and I think that's my fear, that prices will continue to go up.
So did we discuss planters at all?
Yeah, I thought we were going to talk about that in our next portion of the meeting, the planters, the flowers, all the aesthetics.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that yet. What about lighting?
And lighting.
What about lighting? What is the process for that? And I know we have the state to let us know about the approval for requirement approval for any of this that we want to do on Liberty Road. But what about lighting?
Are we at all going to try to do any solar lighting or any, self-sustaining lighting at all? And also, as far as I'm concerned, you know what I'm concerned about, burying the cable that's over Liberty Road. We've got to bury. Too many times that cable is broken and endangered people's lives. And I was one of driving by in a car on Liberty Road when one of them broke in the middle of a storm. When are we going to bury the cable, and who's going to take the lead on seeing that the utility companies do it?
Well, Linda, we only have $250,000.
Oh, I mean staff time to make sure that they get it done. This is the utility companies that have to bury that cable.
Right. And I see here, I think Anthony asking, is there an inventory of cans or benches? We do have some. We started a project of inventory, but just for a portion of Liberty Road, and I will be able to show you the map a little bit later. So for lighting, what is the price of lighting, like ornamental lighting versus just a simple lighting if we wanted to install new one? Is that on the county? What's the process time? What's the bid?
There again, along Liberty Road, I'm not, casting this aside, but, we would have to find out where it's going to be and what's around there, what electric facilities are already there. That's going to determine the price cost. And of course, approval from the state. And if it should be Baltimore County or MDOT's responsibility to install the lighting along the state roadway.
Anthony, if we gave you something like an Excel spreadsheet, basically saying this is what we want, like Liberty Road and other or offshoots or what have you, and did the list, you could take that list and say, this is state, this is county, this is the cost, and that kind of helps us determine where our priorities could be. Would that be helpful?
Yes, that would be very helpful. That way I could pin a price down. I could tell you, if we can do it in-house or if we can do it with an on-call contractor.
Thank you.
Thank you. To make it easy.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to be working on next, identifying those locations. Okay, so I think it's already 7 o'clock. I would like to.
Can I just add? Can I ask a question before we move on? I know it's late. So because everyone is here now, I guess we're talking about money that's available for immediate projects. But I just wanted to know how the county leverages the public art funds from the state to impact any of the things we're talking about. Does this ever come up in conversation in terms of doing streetscaping using a public art process?
Well, I know we do have some public art money as part of the ARP money, but we haven't really discussed what will be the details on how we're going to be using that. So I am not able to answer your questions at this time, but once I get the answer, I can let you know.
So I'm just asking in general, does the county leverage the public art funds to talk about trash cans, benches, lighting, any of these things? I realize there are vendors, but there are also funds to create an identity for a community using a public art project. It's not something that you can, it's a long process. You would use it potentially for very specific like gateway projects or things where you want to call attention to an area potentially.
Yeah. And
But
that's when,
does that
yeah.
happen?
Well, that's actually been happening, and that's how we actually use the sustainable community benefit. And one of the benefits is community legacy grant. So the community legacy grant is awarded to sustainable community boundaries, neighborhood, and communities. But you have to apply. It's a very competitive grant. It usually comes in around May or June. If you are a 501c, you can apply on behalf of that community, and you get awarded that can goes into streetscape improvements for the community. So yes, we do have something like that, but actually not us, but the state.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right, so I want to give an opportunity for the state. We have SHA, State Highway Administration, and we do also have MTA here. So first of all, I wanted to ask if are there any proposed improvement on Liberty Road? I will go with SHA first.
So, Joan, at this point, no, I don't think we have any surfacing project or anything in the planning. But again, I mean, if so we do have our sidewalk ramps, that program, Fund 33 program with Office of Highway Development, and we can coordinate with them if they have any locations on Liberty Road on their list. We can let you know. We'll send you that list. But other than that, we are not aware of any projects as such.
Okay. Yeah, that would be helpful. If we can get a list of maybe potential improvements.
So the only thing I can think of, we have requested some concept funding or funding to develop concept for a few locations, Maryland 26 Liberty Road at Marysville Road, and then there are 3 other locations. Kim, do you have those locations handy?
Let me grab them while you're talking, Tatapa. I got them handy near me.
Yeah, but these are at the very preliminary stage, and we just want to see if we can improve the safety by doing any improvements. And as we move forward, Joan, we will let you know. We'll keep you posted. If
yes,
they
please.
if they are converting into like real projects or getting funded for different phases, whatever progress we make.
And this funding is just for studying the potential
safety
for safety project. Okay.
Yeah, the 3 locations, it's Kim. Maryland 26 at Rolling Road, 26 at Milford Mill, and Maryland 26 at Old Court. Those are the 3 intersections. And like Satapa said, we're just looking at them kind of studies right now, getting cost estimates together, how much utilities is out there, how much right away might be needed. We're just kind of come up with, costs right now.
So that, and then the lighting improvements you guys mentioned, when you have a lighting plan, our Office of Traffic and Safety, they would probably review the plans and send the approval that they look good.
So that is if we want to add a new lighting. What about if we just want to replace it? Do we still need approval from the state?
That also I'll get back to you. I am not very sure of that. I know if they are new, then we definitely do need the approval, because I guess, Angelica, if you remember, we did that lighting project on Maryland 140. So I remember that whole process and coordination, but I'm not sure if replacing the existing lights need any review or approval. I'll get back to you.
Okay, what about trash cans? I know this is still a state road, but I just want to ask. We don't need any type of approval for those type of maintenance projects, do we? Like benches or trash cans?
Will they be in SHA right away or county right away? Do you know what right away it'll be in?
Some of them going to be on Liberty Road.
See,
Also,
and when I was talking to you about those cans, it would be the existing cans that are there already. So, if we would add cans, we would have to add that to our budget also for the collector to be paid for the collection. So
Right.
what I was talking to you about was the existing cans, replacing the existing cans that are already there. That would be a benefit.
okay, but you're saying that if we want to add new cans, what about locations that don't have any cans? What if we want to add new cans to those locations?
Then
What is
that's
the process?
then we would have to get that into our budget, because we would have to pay that collector. They get so much per can per year for the collection. So you have to keep that all in mind. Yeah, it's
So when you say you have to get that into your budget, meaning it cannot happen this year, it has to be next year? I'm just trying to understand.
well, my recommendation would be to replace the existing cans that are in rough shape. Since you only have $250,000, or it would be. I wouldn't add new cans to any more locations because of that reason.
Okay.
Some of the cans that are out there, the streetscape cans, they've been out there for probably 20 years, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And I would start by replacing those in that exact same spot with a new streetscape can.
Got it. And if we have plans to add to new locations, then we need to let you know so that you can add it to the budget.
That's correct. Yeah.
And once you have it in the budget, then we can start the process of going to the, ordering and installation.
Yes.
Actually, this is Vanessa with MDOT, before you order, you would have to have the new locations approved, especially if they're in state highway right of way. There are ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act requirements that require that we have a 5-foot clear path on the sidewalks. So placement of those new cans and those new benches would require some kind of approval from state highway.
Okay. This is great information. Anybody have any questions for SHA?
I'm going to
Yes, this is Sheila Lewis. I have a question. I heard that you said you have the budget for places where there are no cans. But for example, if there is a bus shelter that does not have a can, as far as I know, this is the only bus shelter I've seen that does not have a can. So if the bus shelter designs are designed to have a can and there's one without a can, would that means it has to go through that whole process of, the disability thing or whatever, when that is the typical design of bus shelters to have a can?
That should not be a problem because the shelter should already have met the ADA requirements, but we would still have to look at it, I believe. Unless it was inside the shelter. If it's actually inside the shelter, Not a
No,
problem.
so but you know how you have the bus shelters with the plexiglass, on three sides and the bench in the middle, there is no can. And all the shelters usually, bus shelters usually have like a can on the side. There is no can.
It probably does not need to be approved, but I would still have to make sure it's meeting the requirements if it's a new location.
Okay, thank you very much. I
Uh-huh.
will make sure the appropriate people get the information.
Thank you.
Next, I think we have Linda.
Yes. Again, I'm going to ask this question because I'm just determined that at some point we're supposed to become compliant with what our state mandate is regarding energy savings. Why is it that we can't have any solar powered or self-sustaining lighting along the state highway? Will you be open to at least considering putting some along the road?
So, Linda, I need to check on that. The solar lights requirements or compliance. I know that there's an effort going on, but I am not a part of it, so I really am not up to date, like where they can be permitted or they can be approved or not. I guess if I find any information regarding it, I'll get back to you.
Hi, this is Vanessa again. Part of the problem with the solar lights is the space requirement and the angles, and trying to avoid blocking of other signs, blocking of sight distances. So there's a lot of things that need to be considered when you look at a solar light. And I'm not 100% familiar either with whether they've developed a street size solar light
Yeah.
that's feasible.
Yes,
So
there is.
I
there is,
know like there
Yes,
are
there
park
are.
and rides, like solar lights
yes,
which can be installed on park and ride.
yes.
But I'm not very familiar with the street side solar lights requirements.
Would you be willing to go look at some that already exist?
Exist on the state roads?
That are available that you could actually acquire that use
Okay.
a no larger footprint than the one that already exists. In
Okay.
fact, you wouldn't even have to take down some of the actual poles. Would you at least be willing to consider that?
Okay, yeah, no, it's good to know, and we'll definitely let us talk to our lighting group or whoever is in charge with that effort, and we can definitely let you know.
Because if they can be energy saving, self-sustaining, that's money that's saved to the county and the state.
Yes, we understand that.
All right, very good. Any other questions for MDOT, SHA, and MTA?
Yes, this is Al Barnes. On the trash cans, the one that you were talking about possibly replacing, is there a number, quantity of cans that
No, we haven't decided on
consider?
the locations. We haven't decided on the number. I think right now what I wanted was to get the information first from the county and the state, and then we'll decide on the locations and the numbering. And I think Carla had a great idea of coming up with an Excel file, identifying what we wanna pursue and also the locations, and then I'll send it to the county to get some type of estimate in the pricing before we decide anything.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions for any of the county reps or the state before I let them go? Okay, well, I want to thank you. I mean, the committee, please stick around. Don't go yet. But I want to let the county agencies and the state leave. It's been an hour. It's been more than an hour. But I want to thank you all for all the information. It's been very informative.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
sure.
much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and
Yes, thank you guys.
Thank
And
you.
I'll be in touch with all the questions. So
Great,
we can
thank
get
you.
some follow-up. Thank you so
guys.
much.
Feel
Bye-bye.
free to pass my contact information along to anybody that is looking for it.
Okay, I will.
Thanks.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so I think we got some good information tonight. And this is gonna make us, make our job easier on what we're gonna decide, where we're gonna decide what is required from the state or from the county. So I think what we're gonna do is, oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the options that we can choose to pursue. So it seems like it's a lot of money. I mean, trash can, $1,000 per trash can. And Liberty Road, as you know, is very lengthy. If we want to be fair and make sure that we put trash cans or we place all the trash cans on Liberty Road, it's going to take up a lot of money. So I think there needs to be some type of prioritizing here, whether we go with trash cans, whether we do recycling bins and trash cans, because I know I have seen those double feature, trash can and recycling bin. Do we do trash cans and benches? What do we do? I think we have a lot of priorities to do here with just that small amount of money that we have. And I see Michelle has her hand raised.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really talk about trees or landscaping. Is that is that still on the table for us?
Yes. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to have the landscape architect in this meeting. So no one from the county talking about, we're here to talk about the trees and the landscaping. And that's the reason why I didn't bring it up. But if you think that's something that you want to pursue next meeting, I will make sure to invite him.
Please.
Okay. Sheila, please.
Yes. Regarding the trees and the landscaping, I'm glad we have someone from the county there. But isn't there also a program? I don't know if it's under the county or the state, where they're using money from a separate grant to plant trees to restore and increase the tree canopy. And
Yeah.
if we did identify that, we wouldn't have to identify that as a money source coming out of that 250,000. It would be coming out of that grant. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, because I know they have that Operation Tree, just to make sure there's equity in trees in the county. They have done Dundalk, they have done Essex, and I think Turner Station. I have to find out what are the the priority areas for tree planting. And if Liberty Road is one of their priority locations, then yeah, it's a win-win. We don't need to use that money to plant trees. So that's something I will find out and let you all know.
Are you bringing because I talked with the sustainability coordinator, and that is something that she was focused on too, and tying it into DEI and how communities, minority communities of color, of course, have fewer plantings, trees, flowers, whatever, and how that impacts the health, the physical health of people who live in those communities. So that was something that she had done in her previous work and was interested in doing here as well.
In here in Liberty Road?
In Baltimore County as the
Okay.
sustainability officer for the.
You're talking about Jennifer Auser?
Yes, the one that just came from Chesapeake.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
If I can just, do you mind if I can just piggyback on what Michelle said, because I'm a part of Baltimore County's Sustainability Committee from a previous commission, I was a part of. And Michelle, if you and I could talk, there's one of the recommendations that we gave, and I say we, it was the Procurement Commission. I was a commissioner for the Procurement Department for Baltimore County. One of the recommendations we made as related to sustainability, there is a organization called Eco Districts, and it's ecodistricts.org. Eco Districts is one word. It is an organization that you can go through and I've suggested this, it's in the recommendation report that's on the website. Either the county can do it or communities within the county can become an eco district, and you put a plan together and that community says, these are the things we're going to do to become sustainable. And you get a designation. It's a federal, a national, and it can even be an international designation. So I would make that as a quote recommendation that we, like you said, we maybe not use this money for streetscape, but we recommend to try to talk about doing eco district type communities within the Randallstown Liberty Road corridor. And that's something that can be ongoing, because the question is always going to be, if we put trees and landscaping, it's going to be a budget problem. But if the communities are willing to take that on, then, and we get grant money around that, and we get our county council person who will say, yes, let's do this, then that's something that we quote maintain because it's in our community. I'll talk, anybody who's willing to talk about that, it's it takes work, but it's worth it because it's our neighborhood. So
I'm on the County Arts Commission, and I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall constantly, but I'm texting my friend who lives, I live off of Wine, and she lives in Fox Ridge, and the things she said are art, trees, flowers, right? People want their community to represent them and to be specific and have beauty. And there are funds available to, it's not cheap, it's not easy, it's not routine.
But it's worth it.
It's not in a book. I'm not
Right.
saying that, and we're not here to just, I just want to make sure that that is part of a broader ongoing conversation. That's not what we're doing right now, and I don't want to take up any more time, but I have been working to try to get this conversation about how public art can enhance our communities, reflect who lives here, engage our young people in what we're creating so that they aren't as sometimes, maybe thoughtless about how they interact with it. And that is not a conversation that I'm used to having in Baltimore County. So I don't know if it's possible to have it, but these are things that make people feel like this is
part
mine.
of your community. That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Right. So how do those things get integrated? So if we can do it through sustainability, whoever's money can help to support that so that we can have more community. It looks like us, right?
I think that's something we should put as a offshoot recommendation as out, you know what I'm saying, as a report, and then we can find out who those other agencies are that can assist to help bring that to light.
Right. And as far as I'm concerned, trees, landscaping, planters, that's a better investment even than ornamental lighting. I think we should be aiming at functional, sustainable lighting, not necessarily spending extra money on ornamental lighting. The thing, it's nice to have if you can get it, but not before trees and planters that add property value. You want your community to have a certain reflection so that when people come that might potentially want to visit or purchase your home, they're driving up a corridor that makes them want to live in that area. And so we need to be thinking about that. And so if it takes getting into some special program, that's fine. But even if it takes using some of this money to make it happen sooner rather than later, I'd rather put a higher priority on that and go with more functional rather than ornamental lighting.
Okay, Albert.
Yeah. On the trash cans, did they come out of the $250,000 budget? That is the replacement trash cans. I could see new trash cans or additional trash cans coming out of this budget, but doesn't the county have budgets for replacement of existing items? I thought this money was going to be used for additional features, not to maintain something that they had previously purchased.
I mean, that's a good question, but seems like we cannot, for the moment, we cannot come up with new cans because of the budget. It's not in the budget yet. What the county is supporting us right now is with the trash can removal. but any type of installation or replacement needs to come out of a budget. And on this case, this money that we have is a county-wide money. So it's money from the county that they're giving to us for Liberty Road to replace or improve their streetscape. So it's technically county.
Excuse me, Nagona.
Yeah, but it sounds like, you know, if they had a vehicle, now they need tires on it. They want us to pay, take money out of this to replace the tires. That to me is a maintenance, not.
That's why they're 20 years old and they haven't replaced them in the time frame that they've had them. So they haven't had the money to replace. And
But
you
this
hear
is
about the
right.
constant deficit in the budget. So this is an opportunity to replace something that's 20 plus years old.
But we don't
All
have a deficit right now. The fact of the matter is that our taxes were raised after Johnny O came in. We went from an $800 million deficit to having a surplus. So everybody's still talking about the deficit as if it was a reality. That's not our reality that we're living in right now. And the fact of the matter is, I agree with Albert. I agree that when you have this kind of pot of money, it should not be used to supplant that which is already supposed to be part of the budget.
Exactly. And my question to add on to elaborate to what Linda and a young man was saying, I hear you say this is the money for the county, but is this the money that came to the county via the administration for us to have to do things to fix up and beautify our communities? Because if so, I thought that was going to be used for us to aesthetically fix things up and make them look good, as opposed to fix stuff that's already there that the county was responsible for in the first place.
So this is coming from the county-wide improvement account, which is actually coming from the county's budget. But instead of saying, hey, you are the planner, just go ahead and replace all the trash cans on Liberty Road, we wanted to have community engagement. We wanted the community to have a decision on where the locations, or have an input on any of the improvement that's going to be done on Liberty Road. So this is actually maintenance budget coming from the county, really.
Awesome. So I got that part. So now when the monies come down, if they haven't yet, that we're supposed to get from the administration, from the, federal
You're talking
money,
about ARPA money.
then it's totally something different. So I just wanted to make sure we were using different money. That's all.
Right. So
Thank you.
we are right now using the county money, which is going to be different from any grant we receive from the state or the federal money.
Awesome. Gotcha. Thank you. Just wanted to make sure.
Sure. So it's 7:30. I want to maybe leave you with some type of homework so that we can, we don't have to wait until the next meeting. And I think someone was asking about inventory of all the trash cans. And we do have some type of inventory. I'm not sure if it's still up to date. We did this 2 years ago, where we went out on Liberty Road, but we did this only for the section between Greens Lane and 695. So we were able to map all the street furniture in this section of Liberty Road. We have data for benches. We have data for damaged benches, missing benches. We have the same thing for the shelter. We do have some data for missing recycling bins, sidewalks that are damaged or that are missing. We also have street lighting data, where it's damaged or where it's missing. And we do have the same thing for the trash receptacles as well as trees. So we do have some type of data. What I'm gonna do, I can forward you, I can email you this data. It's in an Excel spreadsheet. And it does also indicate the locations of all of this street furniture and whether it's damaged, missing, or if it's in good condition. And that might be able, you may be able to use this data to make your decision on where you would like to replace trash cans. If you are going with trash cans, and also if you want to go with benches, where are the locations that are priorities? If you want to do trees or planters also, this might be able to help you. So I just wanted to put it out here and let you know that this is actually available.
That was me that asked about the inventory, and I was asking, does the state or the county have inventories of, meaning do they already have trash cans and benches in their inventory? Because there was a question in reference to the cost and that it increased. And my thought is, if we already have some sitting in the warehouse, then we should be paying the old price, not the new price. So that's my question was to Anthony in reference to either the state or the county have an inventory of benches and trash cans sitting in there to make it cost more, less.
I got it.
But I like this. I appreciate this though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt that they would have such a thing, because usually they contract out this type of furniture. So I doubt that they have something sitting and not
Give us
being
one.
used.
If they got one.
Yeah, and are they using recycled benches? From benches made of recycled materials.
Probably steel. I think,
Yeah.
aren't they steel?
Yeah, I think it's still. Scott said that he had sent me the details of the trash can that we usually use. I will forward all that information to you. I will forward you the database with all the inventory of the street furniture. And I would think that your homework by the next meeting would be if you can send me location that you think would be good to have the trash cans replaced, and I can compile everything in one Excel file and send it to property management so that they can give us some type of cost estimate. So I'm thinking, do you guys want to go with trash cans, benches, lighting? And I think for the trees, I have to double check if we can do that to some type of grant or program to the county.
Well, I wanted to ask you if the money could use for other things, like besides streetscape, namely a small building addition to the aquatic center.
No, right now this money can only be used for streetscape improvement, and adding a building will take a lot of money. And what we have
Oh
is
yeah, it'd be like $200,000. Can you tell me how you would go about trying to get a small building addition to the county's facility?
to what county facility, the community center?
Yes.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to ask property management for that. But this money can only be used for streetscape improvement on Liberty Road.
Okay.
Those buildings took over 5 years. We had a UDAT in the beginning of the 2000s, an urban design team that came and multiple community meetings to say we need a facility like what you're seeing
Right.
there. And it took a long time. Kmart was in that site, and it took a long time to get the property, to do an assessment of the property, to do an assessment of how all of the impact of putting the buildings there. It took forever.
Yeah, and it's a very successful. It's worth all the effort, but now there's a few improvements that should be done to keep it up on par, such as addition to the ladies' room. That's what I'm saying needs to be done.
This is Sheila Lewis. I was looking at the maps that you had on up, that you said you're going to send us in the Excel file. You had Liberty Road, Liberty Road West, and then you had Liberty Road East. And what I see about this Liberty Road East map, it does not go down to the city line. It only goes from the Beltway. And this is the problem that the communities that are adjacent to Liberty Road has. The county acts like the county city line is at the Beltway. The county city line goes beyond the Beltway for another 1.5 miles to the city line at Northern Parkway. The communities below, inside the Beltway, that part of Liberty Road is neglected very, very badly. And you can see the difference as you drive up Liberty Road. And on the map, you can see it. They've even gone to the board. They didn't even look at it. Don't even consider it part of Liberty Road.
Well, Linda, you are right, but this map right here, as I said in the beginning, doesn't.
Excuse me, this is Sheila Lewis. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sheila.
Yes. That was me talking. That wasn't Linda.
Oh, Oh, okay. Sorry, Sheila.
No problem. But you know,
Sorry,
great
Rita.
minds think alike. So I'm agreeing with her.
No, what I was saying, maybe you missed the part when I was saying that this was a pilot project. We only picked the middle of Liberty Road. We didn't do the whole stretch of Liberty Road. We didn't have the manpower, we didn't have the resources to do the whole Liberty Road, but I wanted to have some type of inventory of streetscape, street furniture of Liberty Road. But this was just one phase out of Liberty Road. And again, you all are here to decide what location should have trash cans replaced, benches, lighting, and trees. So this is not just as a FYI for you guys. If it can help you pick on this location, but the other two locations, meaning from 695 to the city line and also Greens Lane West, is still relevant to this project.
Okay, so if with the situation I was talking about, the bus shelter that does not have a trash can, it is below the beltway, so I can still submit that location for consideration.
Yes, so this is for the whole corridor, which is from the city line all the way to, I want to say, Lions Mill Road.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. All right, so this has been a very informative meeting. I just want to talk about the next meeting, which is going to be March 14. Just as a reminder, we do meet on the second Monday of each month. So last time we missed the February 14 because of the holiday, but we're gonna keep doing our meetings on the second Monday of each month. Next meeting is on March 14. I will send you a lot of information by email, and I will ask you, please, to send me the locations of benches, trash cans, lighting, trees that you want to pursue with this money. I will compile everything in a spreadsheet. I will send it way to the county and also to the state to let us know cost estimate. Also, let us know whether or not a state approval is needed. And I'm hoping if we have this information by the 14th, we can decide on prioritizing what those locations and the types of improvements are going to be. Sounds like a plan? Yes, Carla?
You said that the Liberty Road goes from, of course, City Line, you said up to Lions Mills?
Yes.
But that, does Liberty and Lions Mill touch, so it doesn't go up to Marriottsville Road?
It's past Marriottsville and then it goes all the way
You're
up.
talking about the other end of Lions Mill where it comes out. That part of Lions Mills, is that the part where by the old church?
At the snowball stand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that where, yeah.
Okay.
Is that where the volunteer fire station is?
No, that's for it's
just
no,
further.
that's
It's a little bit
Liberty near
further.
me. That's Liberty and Sheridan.
Mhm.
So if you're talking Lions Mill, you're passing what is that, Harrisburg? I like the young lady, whoever said the snowball stand. That, yeah, but yeah.
But it really,
okay.
we really should be concentrating, because I'll be honest with you. At that end of Liberty Road, where a lot of us live, the need for those kinds of funds is not as great as down in the Lockhern area, where we have a lot of older citizens who were the first people to move to Liberty Road, and they have been repeatedly overlooked. So do I want to see money spent on Deer Park and Liberty before it's spent down there? No, because more people with higher incomes live at that end of the road, and it's more well maintained than the part that's closer to the city. That's my personal standpoint.
I'm just asking, what does it cover? I'm not asking
No,
about
I know,
priority.
I
I just wanted to know what is the stretch of Liberty Road. That's
Right.
it.
What time does the meet? What time are these meetings going to start? They're going to start at 6 or 7.
Oh, they start at 6. It's from 6 to 7:30.
Okay. I have meetings that are starting at 6.
You didn't know you had all these people with all these ideas, did you?
No, I have.
Great ideas. I'm loving them. And I think we can do a lot with this committee. So I want to thank you all. Thanks for attending. I will send you a lot of information in the next days. And please, once you identify your locations, doesn't matter where, let me just compile everything. And then at the next meeting, we'll do some priority work to see which ones we're gonna pursue.
Did you send out like a contact sheet?
I was getting ready to ask the same question.
Because I can barely see who I'm talking to. And it's hard to build the kind of relationships we need to build.
Thank you, Michelle.
So
Okay.
we know, that would be great.
I will send that. We also have to say that we do have a website now, which is just for this committee. The past meetings have been posted there. This meeting is also going to be posted there. We do have a team section describing, identifying everybody's listed, that are participating in this committee. So I will send you all that information in the coming days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions, you have my email. Please shoot me an email.
And thank you for your hard work. You're doing a great job with this, Nicole. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's I'm really tied to this community. So even though I may not be the planner in the near future, I will be looking out for you.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
And the 2 years ago, the map did go all the way down to the city line. There were multiple maps that went all the way down to the city line.
You're talking about these maps here?
Yeah.
Yeah, these maps, I only showed you the section that we had inventory, that we mapped this street furniture. But yeah, the map that when we studied the Liberty Road, it was from the city line all the way to the Lions Mill Road.
Yeah, you did mention that, and I do agree with what Linda was saying as well, because when we live further up and we are mixed in with parts of Owings Mills in the different areas where the people up in this side are a little bit more on the upper income level, and things do look a little nicer, and you do want people when they first come into the county to see, because sometimes you get in those areas and it still kind of looks like it's in the city.
Yeah.
So you do want it to look aesthetically pleasing so that people will want to purchase, and then also to keep our houses at the value that they should be at instead of them depreciating,
Right.
Those houses in the city used to look nice too. My parents moved, so they live around the corner from Hebville Elementary, and they moved here in 1972.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but some of them still look nice in the city. I'm not down here. I have a lot of family live in the city. I'm just saying, when you come in to the area and they want to charge you $500 for a house, you want it to still look nice.
Yeah, it looks old. They moved into a 10-year-old house in 1972, right? So 60-year-old plus properties, and things have aged, and some things haven't aged well.
Yeah, you're right.
And I have to say that I am still accepting male membership, just to have that representation. Thank you, Albert, for joining us. So if you can think of anybody who might be interested in serving in this committee, male, please let me know.
You want to reach out to Danny Blount, because he may be interested, and he's also working on the CCGR. I can get that. Yeah,
we
but
all
he would
are.
be good.
I think Danny's overloaded, but
I think so, because I did send him an email, but he never responded. So I guess
he is pretty busy.
Overloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may not be able to make all the meetings because I have a steering committee that I chair that's going to be meeting on Mondays.
Well, I was getting ready to say all of us are overloaded, but
on the condition of the trash cans, wouldn't the county sanitation know about approximately how many have to be replaced? They're the expert. I would
No, they
assume
don't.
somebody
They're not
is
the
aware.
expert. They're not the expert. I interact with them a lot for below from the Beltway to the city line. No, they're not the experts.
So
we
should go out there and look at the trash cans.
No, we have to tell them that when we contact them, they act like they never heard about it. They don't know what we're talking about. They're not the experts. We, as our communities, we have to be the experts to tell the county what we need, because other than that, unless we let them know, they said, and they'll tell us that. They you let us know. We don't know. We depend on you to tell us. No, they're not the experts.
I'm still trying to
appreciate the education.
Global
Thank you.
Industrial is the largest producer of outdoor trash receptacles, and the average cost is closer to $650 to $750. So I'm trying to understand where the 1,000 is coming from.
That was why I was keep asking questions regarding the pricing. Maybe we need to look elsewhere because that was just a crazy price for $1,000 for a trash can. Now he did mention about the steel, but I know there's a big issue with wood. And of course everything is going up, but I mean we do know that a lot of this is politically driven. So I'm just wondering if it's going to go down in the near future where we can start bringing in some of these containers.
So I have to say that if we don't go with the on-call contractors that the county has, there will be some bid requirement. So, and when we go into that process, it takes longer in order to do anything. So just as a FYI, I mean, it's always a good idea to shop around just to see the difference, but just FYI.
No, you're right. If the county's already selected someone and they went through the process and it would take longer, I just didn't even know that they had already had someone, or if they were looking, you know how sometimes you pick 3 or 4 and you do the bid. So these people are someone they've already been using for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think I don't want to hold you anymore, but thank you, and we'll be in touch.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank
Okay,
you,
have a
everyone.
good
Have a
day.
great rest of the week.
You see me eating my bag of Skinny Pop popcorn. I